Good morning, it's Stuart from Clibbery Walks. It's a lovely, crisp, well, stormy type day in mid-November 2020. Sunday morning, first thing, just gone 9, and I'm heading out on one of my favourite walks. I've done this walk before, but I'm ashamed to say I cocked the video up a little bit and had to put a video description in for most of the route. So let's do it properly this time. And yeah, so we're heading up the Tenbury Road to the crossroads. I'll pop into the co-op and grab some supplies for the walk, and then we'll get cracking. So we've gone to the crossroads, turned left, headed up to the telephone exchange, and we are turning right up this path, and this will bring us out on the path between Child Road and Love Lane and Cathton Road. This stuff I should know, I've lived here all my life. So head up here, and then there's a little path on the right hand side, very easy to find. So at the top of that road, turn right down this little alleyway, and this will take us straight up onto the footpath that goes by the side of the school fields. When we arrive on this footpath, we turn left and follow it along till we get to the new estate. You'll probably notice that the gear that I'm using now is almost completely different to that from the summer. So gone are these shorts and the walking trainers and t-shirt. I'm wearing a pair of substantial walking boots with gaiters. Bought not too long ago from Go Outdoors. You don't want to spend a lot of money on them because they can get trashed by barbed wire fences, etc. I'm wearing synthetic quick drying trousers, synthetic quick drying top, just a t-shirt actually, and then a shell jacket over the top. In my bag I've got hat, gloves, warm headband. I've also got a fleece in case I get cold. It's highly unlikely I'm going to get cold until I stop moving, but when I start to have my cup of coffee, which I may or may not do on this walk, I could get cold very quickly, so it's there for me to put on just in case. But it's just a whole load of different gear for the winter. But if you've got the right gear, there's no reason to be uncomfortable. We're heading on up this path, and just there's a gap between the houses here. We're going to turn right and descend down through Clibbery Meadows to the path at the bottom. See Brankley there up in the distance. So now I'm approaching the footpath. I've got two options. I can turn left and then right and go along the road, or I can turn right and pick up a footpath that goes up across the field in front of me. And that field always has sheep in it. So dog owners, keep your dogs on the lead, no matter how well behaved you think they are. Dogs can get very naughty around sheep, and we don't want any problems like that. I've decided to go up through the field. May as well get muddy sooner rather than later, eh? Our stile just here on the left, past these railings. So we get across the stile, we head for the right hand tree on the horizon, and that should bring us pretty much along the right of way. And we're looking for a galvanised gate in the top right hand corner of the field. From here we can see our route. We keep walking up to the galvanised gate, and then we look for a galvanised kissing gate on the other side of the road. And we are walking to the right hand side of the oak tree in the field, up to the gable end of the far left hand building. Now, it might look sunny today, but it's blooming cold. Here's our galvanised gate in the top corner of the field, and the kissing gate on the other side of the road. Now, it probably goes without saying, but always check that the gates are shut properly before you leave them, because the livestock gets out, causes all sorts of chaos, and that's a situation we don't want. So we've just come through the kissing gate behind us. We're walking through the middle of a crop of Swede, and the path is very clearly defined. You just follow the line. This path's walked an awful lot, so there shouldn't be any problem with route finding at all. And I'll check in again when I get up to the house at the top. So at the top of the field you come to a gap in hedge with several big boulders on the right hand side. We head up through this gap and stick to the right hand side of the field. It's quite a well defined path here again, so we're very lucky. Try and stay off the farmer's crop, because that's their livelihood. So here, once again, we've got a choice to make. We either can keep going up the right hand side of the field, and you'll pop out by the waterworks. I'll show you where you pop out when we pass it. Or you can turn right and up those steps, follow the right hand side of the field, and you're looking for a gateway after 150-200 meters on the right hand side. So here's our path descending to the right. Watch yourself down here. Looks like it might be a bit slippery. We go through the gate and follow the left hand field boundary. Now we've got protection from the hedge, it's instantly warmer. Another lovely kissing gate from Clibberry Moorton Footpath Association. My hat goes off to you guys. So we're following the left hand boundary of the field. You see some gates up in the distance next to that water tower, I believe it is. We're heading for those, and we're going up the really nice stone track. Here we are at the gates, kissing gate on the left hand side, and I know just round the corner there's a little bench. I'm going to make myself a cup of coffee. This is the obligatory brew stop, testing out a table that Davey's lent me to try, and the windshield for my stove. It's doing alright considering it's blowing quite well. Stunning day. I've had to put the headband on because my ears were getting quite cold. It might look a bit daft, but it's a hell of a useful piece of kit. So that's the brew stop finished. Just like camping, don't leave any mess anywhere, leave no trace. And now we are heading up the road. So we turn uphill when we come through the gate. And we're up here for 5-6 minutes, I would guess, until we get almost level with the turn that takes you up to Catherine Common. Surprising how chilly you get when you sit still for a while, so couldn't stay too long. But it's also surprising how quickly you warm up again once you get moving, so that's all good. So I mentioned earlier in the walk that you had the option to carry straight on up the field and you'd pop out on Common Lane. Well, here's the waterworks depot, and here's the stile that you would pop out on. And we're heading up this road now, not very far, and we'll be turning left down across the fields. Just stopped to put some gloves on. 30 years and more as a surveyor have made me feel the cold in my hands quite a lot, so always wear gloves. Got to keep those hands in good order because they're the things that make me a living. The building we're passing now is a sampling station on the Elan Valley Aqueduct. So the water supply from Elan Valley into Birmingham goes along this route, and this is one of the sampling stations, a very grand little building. It's probably a better view of the building. Up on the top it says Elan Valley Birmingham Corporation Water. It's Clibbery down in the valley. And the little windmill, two-bladed windmill's about 150 yards from my house. Now we're approaching the high point of our walk, which is the junction where Common Lane turns up to Caston Common past the hillocks. Just before there's a gateway with a stile on the left hand side, and we're over that, and we're following the far side of that hedge line down round to that isolated oak tree. Just be careful on this stile, guys, because at the moment the right hand side post has rotted off, so it's a little bit unstable and it's quite a long step off onto this side, but other than that it's cool. And we're following the path. If you make the effort to come out on days like this, I think it's extremely rewarding, because if you go out when it's windy, chilly, raining, you see the countryside in a different light, and to appreciate it at its best in midsummer, when it's warm and a nice gentle warm breeze, you really need to see the countryside at its worst. It gives you, you know, a lot of context, really. There's an old saying, there's no such thing as bad weather, just the wrong gear. And that's right to a certain extent. If you go out on a horrible, wet, chilly day, you haven't got the right clothes on, it can be a miserable experience. But if you have got the right gear, it's really good fun and very rewarding. That wind's picking up. I think we're in for a stormy rest of the day. So we followed the hedge round to the left, and we stay on the left hand side of it, just hopping over a stile in a minute, and then we're dropping back down into Clibbery. So yeah, it's been a lovely walk so far, and I woke up this morning and it was chucking it down, lashing against the window. I thought to myself, God, do I really want to go out today? But I'm really glad I made the effort, really glad. Vista from up here is really quite amazing. I don't know if you'll pick it up on here, but you can see Aberley Hills with the clock tower. Over to their right in the far distance you can see the Malverns. Follow it round, you can see the Titterston Clee. Absolutely beautiful. Looking at the state of that cloud, going to be damp at some point quite soon. Now we're approaching the edge of the field hedge. We want to carry straight on. There's a footpath to the right that leads down to Bransley, but on this occasion we want to be heading straight on. This path's very well walked, so it's extremely well defined. Stick to the path so you don't damage the crop, and we'll start descending shortly across one more field on the other side of this one, and we'll be on the side of the main road. It's what's encouraging is it's been wet for a few weeks now, and the path isn't too muddy at all. It's not dry by any means, but it's not sticky mud, so you know, it's still doable without spending your time ankle deep in mud and in misery. You see Curdale Farm there, and the steeple and the church, and the windmill at Morley Town Farm spinning away in the distance. To my left here you can see the farm we walked past earlier on this morning. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful South Shropshire countryside. We just hop over this little stile and follow the defined path through the crop down to the gate on the opposite corner of the field. Now, at the moment, England is a week and a half into a 4-week lockdown. It's tough times. I'm extremely lucky because I have got plenty of work to keep me going. The people in the catering industry and the entertainment industry are taking a kicking of a lifetime, and I just don't know how they can cope at the moment. The problem a lot of people have is that their nerves have been on edge for such a long time. Last week I was unpleasant to a friend of mine, Rich, and I can only apologise, bud. My nerves are so frayed that I couldn't help it. I think we got through it okay, but yeah, it's just tough times. But we will get through the other side of it. At the moment, I'm planning a walk from Fort William to Inverness again, with this time with Davy Boy from Davy Boy Goes Wild, an excellent channel. His content is slightly different to mine. He tends to do a lot of wild camping videos and hacks for tents, modifications and stuff like that, as well as vegan cooking and whatnot. So pop over and have a look at his channel, Davy Boy Goes Wild, and his friend Keith, and we're going to have a gentleman's trip across Scotland. Gentle pace, not too stressful, hopefully lots of banter, good fun. So I'm looking forward to that, but fingers crossed by mid-May next year they'll actually let us in. And hopefully things will be getting a bit back to normal by then. We can only hope. But that's my light at the end of the tunnel. So yeah, it's all going to be good. I'm just approaching this little gate here. Go through the gate and stay on the grass verge alongside the road. Just be very careful because the traffic is very quick here. If you've got children or dogs, make sure they're well under control. And after a few hundred meters you're on the pavement up by Ludlow Road. Said it once and I'll say it again, the chain latch on this gate is fantastic. The patina on it, it's just, I always love it, and it's a bizarre thing, such something so trivial, but I absolutely love it. It's like an old friend. Yeah, call me mad for that one. So we follow the road verge down to the cemetery. So I'm just about to pass the cemetery on Ludlow Road in Clibry Mortimer, and this is where I'm going to sign the video off. I'm glad that you've come along with me. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button, and it'd be really good for me if you click the like button. Thanks for coming along once again. I'm really enjoying making these videos again, so makes my weekends good fun. Cheers guys.